I had high expectations for Geno Smith in 2023 and beyond. I felt Geno Smith played at an MVP level in Seattle the first year the Seahawks were without Russell Wilson. And say what you want about Russell Wilson in Denver, it seems like his career is falling apart as we speak up to this point. He's a declining player, but Russell Wilson was awesome in Seattle. Won them a Super Bowl, won a lot of games, had a lot of success. It was going to be very difficult for whoever was going to be the successor after Russell Wilson to kind of carry on that torch. And Geno Smith last year, I felt that he was playing at an MVP level. I think he had over 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions, completed about 70% of his throws. Geno Smith was playing at a very high level. And you look at Seattle, wide receivers, check mark. Defense, check mark. Offensive line, check mark. Running backs, check mark. Pete Carroll, great head coach, check mark. They check all those boxes off. They got the receivers, the defense, the offensive line, the running backs, and a great head coach in Pete Carroll that still has a couple more great seasons left in him. But despite the fact that the Seattle Seahawks have been winning some games, they just haven't quite looked the part. And I think one of the reasons why is because Geno Smith hasn't quite taken the leap that they've needed him to take. And let's be real, people. As good as Seattle's roster is, and boy, oh boy, do they got some star players on that roster. Geno Smith must step it up a notch if the Seattle Seahawks want to win a Super Bowl. Because they have the roster. They've got a Super Bowl winning coach that has a great resume. I think it all comes down to if Geno Smith can reach another level of success. Because I think Geno Smith is good, but can he become great? Can he turn it up a notch? Can he play at an MVP level when it matters the most? Because at some point, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you may have to go through, Patrick Mahomes if you land in a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, even Tua Tagovailoa is playing at an MVP level this year. Even in the NFC, Jared Goff, playing at a pretty high level, has found new life in Detroit. Jalen Hurts was just in the Super Bowl last year and arguably outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game despite losing. Matthew Stafford's won a Super Bowl. We've seen him beat Tom Brady on his way to a Super Bowl, beat a really good Bengals defense in the Super Bowl. And the 49ers defense is also going to be in your way. They're in your division. So, look, I'm not hitting the panic button with Geno Smith because I think the roster is really good. The coaching staff is really good. I think Geno Smith has found success in Seattle, and he's going to be a good starting quarterback for a couple more years at least. But does Seattle just want to be good, or do they want to be great? If they want to be great, Geno Smith must step it up a notch. I believe he is capable of it. However, as we've seen teams kind of make adjustments on Geno Smith where they've gotten more film on him, they're understanding what he wants to do a lot better, and they've kind of been limiting him and making him make mistakes at times. Geno Smith will need to have a counter punch to where, okay, let's see if I can make the adjustments from here on out. So I think Geno Smith has the talent to do so. But let me just tell you something right now. Seattle's got a lot of good young players, and it all really comes down to how good Geno Smith is because you got no more excuses, okay? The offensive line has some depth, and it's very, very good when healthy. The running backs are really talented. The wide receiver core, name me 5 wide receiver rooms that are better than Seattle. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba. These are star players, people. Not to mention the defense is young and athletic and has really, really good young players. So, Geno, you got a defense, you got a run game, you got great pass catchers, you got a great coaching staff. It's now up to you to deliver and not write back like you promised Seattle fans when you became their quarterback from the jump.